First time backing out of the garage here. She just went in there and took over. I think I've lost my
what number?
Access to the tractor. What
number do I put it on the back?
Oh, you can just pick it all the way up.
All the way?
Don't worry about the numbers. Just get it off the ground, honey. There, pull it back. There you go. That's good. You're up. You're
Am I good to go. Back out?
Back up. Howdy, everybody. Grandpa Dawes Farms. That'd be Grandma. I don't even, you know, I haven't driven that tractor in 6 months. I don't really need to. I think she's rather enjoying that, don't she? I'm pretty proud of her. That's awesome. Good job. Well, we've got a few things to do today on this video. One being, and I'll tell you what's going on here. If you've watched our videos, you know we're going to put in a fence back here. We've been, again, since last September. Here it is, on about 3/4 of the way through June, and we still don't have a fence. But we've had a lot of rain, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's catching up on other jobs, and he'll be here maybe in a couple of weeks. See this pipe right here? We got 24 pieces of pipe. That was dropped off, good grief, what, 2 months ago? I'd asked by a company that we bought it from, they delivered it. And I was supposed to be here, and they just showed up, you know, and I said, man, I'm about 30 minutes out, you know, and he goes, well, you were supposed to take it off. And I said, I was. Well, I knew that, you know, that was it. And I thought, well, you know, dude, what wouldn't we do, man? I said, would you do me a favor? And I said, take it up by the house and drop it off on the right-hand side of the driveway up there, because it's going to go back to the back of the house. So I came home that day, and here it sat right here. He must have just shoved it off the truck and said, I'm good, you know, whatever. My thought was I was going to do the manly thing and exercise and take all this, carry it all the way up, and Mom said, you're not carrying it all the way up there, you got a tractor. So.
Do I need to move up?
Yeah, I'm talking right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to do this the manly way.
Yeah. You're doing it the right way, let's put it that way.
You know, you're going to do it the right way. I hear you. So we're going to get some of this in here now, and I don't know if it'll hold all or not. I really don't know. We're going to find out.
You want it all the way down?
I told her to wear a hat, by the way, but she didn't. Well, bring it down as far as you can. I don't even know how heavy these things are. Holy cow. I should have got gloves. Hey, that's hot. Wow, that would have been a chore carrying them bad boys all the way up there.
You need gloves.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Hang on, one more. I'll be all right. Should have wore gloves.
Where do you want me to go over the grass? Up
just
there?
Follow me.
Okay.
Yeah. I did not want to take the tractor across this until it dried out a little bit, because it'll tear it up. Even though they'll have to do it when they come and do the work, I wanted to spare it as much as I could. I'm going to get that stuff out of the driveway, so I got to unhook this hose. She's just a professional now. Hold on a second. I don't want to run over these hoses. Alrighty. We don't have far to go. I've got everything else kind of laid out here, so this is kind of almost the last pieces of the puzzle. Chad has a 12-foot gate and one other roll of fence. Just straight back. There you go. Go ahead. A little higher. Higher. Okay, now just dump them. Push to the right. There you go. Go up. There we go. Oh, you're noisy. But what I don't want her to do is turn around. Don't turn around. Just go straight back.
I am.
Because if I have her turn around, she's going to grind on that. And I know when they get here, they're going to tear it up. But I'm trying to do the least amount of damage as I can. It's not like this is real nice grass. It'll grow back, but oh, you know me. The reason I didn't trade up there, I don't know what I did. My back is prone to getting hurt easily. I don't know if some of y'all, when you talk about your issues you have, most of you have bad backs, and I do too. I hurt my back a long time ago, and it never has been right. And here lately, I just been hammering my back. I woke up this morning. It's not great, but sometimes the more I move, the better it gets. I have to just be really careful. It doesn't bother me picking this stuff up, but for some reason, she's getting way too good at this. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Sacked out, peed up on top of the hut. A lot of help, you guys. Oh, it's okay. Hey, it's just me. My goodness, you're okay. You're all right. I'm not going to pet you. I don't want you jumping over the fence. You guys are fine. Everybody's good. Go lay back down. Just checking on you. You're doing great, puppies.
Do we need to come up?
Yeah, come a little closer. Last trip. That's good. Now tilt it back. A little more. All the way back. There you go. Drop it down a little bit. There you go. Alrighty, take her away. Mags, what's up, buddy? Hey, you want to tell everybody you were in the garage today with about 8 girls? Huh? Did you take them in there? Or did you follow the girls? Oh, a big old lizard. Oh my goodness, you got a lizard. That a girl. Oh my word. Good job. All right, one more. One more. Go forward, on top of it. Keep going. Now, there you go, put your brake, there you go. Up. There you go. Nice work. Well, that ain't too much damage, but a little bit of an indentation there, but good golly, it's okay, Ralph. I'll have to get over it. I'll fix it. God will fix it. All I can do is just water it and it'll grow back, won't it?
Going in there?
Yeah, we're good. That's good work right there, Ma.
Oh. Man,
I tell you what, every time I looked down there and saw that little brown mess of whatever that was, pipes down there, it just bothered me. So, that's a good project.
Did it keep you awake at night?
It kept me awake at night. It really did.
You ought to get a good night's sleep tonight.
I don't know. I'll think of something else.
I know.
I don't want to hear it. Everybody, that ship has sailed that I don't think about something at night. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Hey, I'm sweating.
I am too.
You were on the tractors turning the steering wheel, girlfriend. Hey, we got one more thing we want to do.
Gonna go cool off the chickens, or try to?
Well, I know this is one of the toys that I bought, and we're going to show this off. So let's. This may not work. We may end up going the route that Chad did and buying an electric exhaust fan for the birds. It has a thermostat. We're going to try this first. We tried everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
All right. Here's what we come up with. Got online, and you found some really just basically, they said air conditioners, but they weren't truly air conditioners. You can't air condition without Freon and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
Okay. But what we did is we found, these are called water coolers. Now that's a tiny little old thing right there, folks. I mean, you can see that's not gonna move a lot of air, but I don't need a huge amount of air in there. If I could just drop the temperature down 6-7 degrees, you know, something like that. I don't know. We're going to try it. We got this off Amazon. That, by the way, we paid for this. It's in a paid sponsorship. But what you do is this pops out here. These blue things are sponges, and you wet those down. Then you pop this in here like that, or however that goes. We'll figure it out. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I think it's like that. Then you shut that door. Then you fill this little reservoir with water. You can even put ice in there with water. The colder the water, the colder the air.
That makes sense, even for an accountant.
It's the look she's giving me that I'm just like, she's just, you know, this is a little lid that goes on top right here. Then you plug that in. It has settings up here. It's got high, low, medium. It has an Arctic setting. I don't know what the Arctic settings are supposed to make it be colder, but I don't know how it can be colder. It's only going to be as cold as the water that's in it. You set it on low, it goes 12 hours. Medium's 10 hours. I beg your pardon, did I get that right? I got that wrong.
I didn't read the directions.
Low is 12 hours. Medium, yeah, it's 10 hours. And high is 8 hours. I had that right. And you all know what I'm talking about. We're of that age. The water cooler. The water in here, and those being wet, the air blows across here and cools the air. I mean, when I was a kid, that's what we cooled the house with. I didn't have air conditioning when I was a kid. I didn't know what it was to have air conditioning. We just had all the windows and doors open, and we had a water cooler, and it had that stuff called Excelsior. You don't remember that, do you? Did I have air conditioning by the time we started dating? In that old house, did Mom and Dad ever get that air conditioning?
Window units.
Was it a window unit by the time we started? So at some point we got an air conditioner? I don't remember. We had one little window air conditioner. But prior to that, when we were 9, 10, 12, 13, 14 years old, my brother and I, older brother and I, we were tasked with going out, taking a hose, and that Excelsior, it's like straw. Remember that straw stuff, you know, and you put it in those panels, and it's supposed to have a pump that circulated, and the water would come. Are you with me?
Yeah, but keep going.
You had central heat and air, you don't know.
Not right off the bat. We had an attic fan and a window fan.
Okay. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know.
Anyway, that water would run down that Excelsior, and that we had a squirrel cage fan in there. Well, our pump system quit working. So we'd have to go out there every night, fill that thing up with water so that it would run all night, you know, and try to keep it as cool as it could before that Excelsior dried out. But my brother and I were always had an argument over who was going to put the hose on there because it got a short in it. I told this story before, but to those of you that don't know, we would get shocked occasionally when we put the hose over there, and it would shock us, and we never knew when it was going to happen. And my dad, back in the old days, guys, did they care? No, he didn't care. Just get out there, 120, it ain't going to kill you. So we'd go out there, hold that, and we'd say, your turn, your turn. It was kind of like a water roulette, you know what I mean? Okay, your turn, you get shocked, your turn. We zzz, zzz. I've
never heard that story before,
you
to be
haven't?
honest, but I would have thought Leah would have been smart enough to say, here, little brother, you hold it.
Well,
I'll do this or that.
hey, I wasn't that far behind him. I was, you know, I caught on pretty quick, but we did that for years, and that's how we cooled the house down. And Dad would even go out in the summer when it got really hot, and we had box fans. You know, we'd draw the air in. Well, he would take the hose and pour water, take the hose and squirt up on the roof. Well, the water would run off the roof down past our windows, and the fans would be drawing that air in, and that air would be cool as long as that water was dripping off the roof. And that's how we cooled the house. There you go.
Good thing you had a smaller house,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, 6 of us. It was pretty comfortable in a teeny tiny house. But I tell those stories because most of us out there are of that age, And it's just kind of interesting how then we used to live and make do. And, you know, I'd go to school and I never thought about air conditioning. I never thought about, you know, we didn't have central heat. We just had an old furnace in the floor. You remember that old thing, that brick thing? And bricks would heat up and a fan would come on, and that's heat. I mean, if you were around it, you were warm. If you were 10 feet away, you froze your beep, 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 beep off. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Anyhow, all right, that's story time.
Where are we putting this?
Okay, so we got to set it on the outside of a window, like we did those box fans. We got to set it on something. Let's go take a look. You know what they say?
What?
Miss Kitty, close your ears. There's more than one way to skin a... Don't you say it, Dad. I'm going to give you credit for this genius idea, by the way. You want to explain to them what you come up with?
Oh, you do.
This is truly ingenuity, old style. We have in the garage a little plastic rack that we keep our boots and stuff on. And the problem we're having is putting this in is it had to be 29 inches to reach the bottom of that window. And so we brought this shelf out, Mom measured it, and it had this 1, 2, 3 of those, and it was just shy of going under here. Well, Mom, being the common sense she is, says, hey, let's just take off this. So we did, and that thing fits like a glove under here. It's pardon the dirt. But what we can do now, see, we may have to, honey, well, you know what? Let's take the shell, let's do this. That's even better. How do we do that? Oh, there we go, duh. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Now, we're gonna need to pour water daily, so we'll have to take that off each time.
Well, it'll scoot.
Oh,
I mean,
scoot all the way over.
Scoot all the way over,
Yeah.
see? But now,
we're gonna just test it.
all right, I'm with you. But see, what we'll do too is we'll push this window down, all right? And so that prevents that from falling backwards, because I was worried that that thing wouldn't be very stable here. I put that window down a little bit, so.
How much do I pour? Does it?
Well, it's got to go,
Is there a
you
fill
fill it
line?
up. I mean, if you're just going to test it, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able, you're not going to be able to hit that. You got to bring it all the way. Can you do that? We may have to come up with something different, honey.
Well, you'll probably be using the hose.
I might, yeah, just, you don't want to pour it on it or get the fan wet,
I
so.
think we better use the hose.
I like how it's going to work though, because you can't get it out.
I do too.
It can't fall out, it can't fall backwards, it can't fall forward. You know, the chickens can go underneath that and they can go around it, so.
If I just brought a glass out, I could pour it in.
But we do have it hooked up. We got water in there. All I gotta do is turn it on. If I could just, oh, that's so dirty, I can't even see how to turn it on. There we go.
Let me go inside and see.
I mean, it barely is, you know, that ain't much air, and I got it aimed up. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
You need a jacket? Is it that cold?
No.
Uh-huh. Let me see. Let's see.
But
Oh,
with the big door shut,
I can aim that up, but you know, with this door shut, I don't really want to shut that other window. But I don't know if that's, basically it's just moving air. I'm going to let this go. Let them kind of get used to the. Is anybody in there laying eggs?
no, I was just looking at
Oh,
the.
yeah, there's Gray's down there.
Is she?
Yeah. We'll let this go. We'll take these 3 eggs while we're here.
What's the one on the right? Is that chicken poo?
Yeah. I'm going to let this go so they can kind of get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's cooler air now. That water's coming down on those sponges. I can feel it. I mean, if that dropped the temperature 5 degrees,
I
you
know.
know, and I have a, folks, just so I know, I've got a thermometer right there that I can check with my phone. Gives the temperature, so
Well, here
I can feel that. I
How
can
are
feel.
you?
Oh, oh, well, I'm a little busy right now. I'm trying to lay an egg up here. Yeah, you lay them up there and they roll off down there. Silly goose. All right, well, let's let that go. I can feel that here.
I can too.
You know what I mean?
And if the door was closed, I think it would be cool.
Yeah, you know, you could set 2 of them side by side. Just saying.
We'll order another one then. I'm still determined. I'm going to get something rigged up for the dogs.
I can see it in your face.
Yep, and I've already got it planned where it's going and what it's
Well,
sitting
you
on
just
and
show me.
everything. Okay.
All right.
We're trying one out for the dogs too. I actually bought 2 but we're gonna see if it puts out enough cool air that they'll lay in front of it. Bubba's laying in front of it right now. Sissy, I'm not so sure.
Somebody over here is banging on the door. Who's pecking on the shed and why? Huh? Oh, I see. You two? Busted. Hi, Mags. Hey, Cher. I don't know why they do that. Watch, watch. Look at that. What in the world? I don't know. All right, sorry. Go back to business. Oh, it's warm out there. You know what?
Yes.
But it's beautiful.
I call it hot.
It's all hot. It's hot. Well, you know what? It may reach high 80s, but we're not getting hot yet till we'll get 90, 92 here the next few days.
I'll be inside in the air conditioning. Just call me when you need me.
Well, I appreciate you coming out there. I know that's, you know, again, I get out and stay used to it. You know, that doesn't mean I don't get hot. I mean, it gets uncomfortable, but, you know, if I don't, I can't go down and get stuff done during the day. So you got to stay out and get hot. Yeah, no.
Plus, now I catch myself looking everywhere for snakes, not just, you know, under things. I'm paranoid.
Hey, we'll be thankful we don't find a bunch of eggs like Kyle and Shannon did.
Oh, I know.
If y'all didn't see Doss Acres video, they found a 24 snake eggs underneath the water drink fountain thing that they put the water tank. Woo!
Yeah.
I'd have went and probably egged somebody's house with them, you know what I mean?
I would have done just what they did and smashed them.
Yeah, anyway. Well, we've got one puppy dog laying, no, is he still, no,
he just got up, went in the porta hut. South porta hut.
Both water cooler ideas may be a major fail. I don't know. Gray was in there laying eggs, or laying an egg, and then put the fan in there, and about 3 or 4 minutes later she got up. So I'm leaving it running so that everybody gets used to the noise.
Well, and if I could get them in the porta huts, that would be ideal. That would cool the porta hut, but I can't trust the goats to not chew on the electric cords and knock stuff over, and you know, it's just
well,
not
remember, was it last summer or the summer before last? We did that, and we ended up, remember we put all those tarps all over the place to keep the fans from getting wet? It just looked awful.
I don't care how it looks if it just cools them down. But
well, yeah, but they kept knocking the fans over. Mm-hmm. You know, and I had to go back down and stand
That's when we had them spayed and neutered, wasn't it?
No, well, that may have been one occasion, but we had 2 fans going, and they very seldom laid in front of them. And the cords, the goats were pulling on them, and it's just not.
Yeah, the goats were the problem.
Yeah, it's just not worth what you go through. They can just go down and get in the mud or something, lay in the shade and be still, or get in the water. You know, they got water to get into if they need to. So, anyhow, that's all I'm saying. But, well, you know, having the video out that we're putting out, today's video, sometimes I do things over a span of 3 or 4 days. And a lot of times, you know, we'll save it all for one day. We may not show everything. So I thought this was a good time to show, you know, it's not just feeding and doing things just for the video. It's like anybody else, homestead, farm, whatever you got to, something you do every day. So I wanted company. So that's why y'all got to come along.
Oh, I thought you meant me.
That's why you helped me out today, because you talked me out of carrying those things down there for some form of weird exercise, and I'm glad you talked me out of it. Oh, baby kitty. Glad you talked me out of that. Made short work out of it. Now I look out there and don't see those pipes down there, so again, one less thing to lose sleep about.
Well, if you expect me to let you go do that kind of stuff when you just complained that your back was hurting, you are so wrong. Because if I could lift one of those, I'd smack you up the side of the head with it, but I probably couldn't.
Yeah, my back goes in and out and in and out. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, I wonder why. What?
I want to say something, and then I want to say something else.
Go ahead.
And I know you all have experienced this. We've talked about it before. I had a doctor's appointment with my cardiologist. It would be August. And we were looking forward to it because we were actually going to see him, not the assistant. Is that what you call her?
She's a PA.
We saw her 6 months ago. So I was really pumped about it.
Last time you saw him was when you were in the hospital here.
That's right. So it's been almost a year.
It has been.
Yeah. It's been a year, exactly. Well, I got a letter 2 days ago. Mr. Doss, we're going to reschedule your appointment, moving it from August Oh, not a week away, not 2 weeks, not a month, not 2 months, 3 months. 3 months. They moved it clear till November. And I was upset. That's the second time in 6 months that somebody put my appointment way out. I mean, it was bad enough I had to wait for 4 months to go to see the nerve guy, right? That was 4 months. Anyway, I called him up. I said, hey, I can understand a couple of weeks, but 3 months? I said, I've been kind of looking forward to it. She was real nice. She said, well, Mr. Doss, he's not going to be in the office during that time. What I wanted to say, well, I hope he has a nice vacation. And I like this guy.
You know how they put labels on folders when you're allergic to something and it's bright red? I bet yours has one on there that says, beware, grumpy old man.
Grumpy old man.
And that's probably why you're the first one they put off.
So anyway, I said, well, ma'am, I said, she said, well, here's the thing. If you don't do that, you won't see him. She said, you'll see his physician's assistant. She said, I figured you want to see him this time. I said, yeah, I really do. I said, I appreciate that. But I said, it's just a little frustrating. I said, thank goodness there's not a lot major going on. I said, I guess if something happened to him, I said, I just guess I'd go to the ER or something, you know what I mean? I don't know what he was going to do, just talk to us. It's just the principle of the thing. We made the appointment 6 months out, and you get to it, and it ain't like you moved it a couple of weeks or a month. You moved it 3 months. Oh, this guy can wait. We're just talking to him. It bothers me. It bugs me, all right?
We couldn't tell.
Yeah. Well, and then I said, and I had a 9 o'clock appointment in the morning. I set all my appointments in the morning because the afternoons, I got stuff. All right, mornings are better. And I'm a morning person. By now, I'm all grumpy.
We need to do our rock and talks in the morning.
Yes, that's true. And I said another thing too. I said, you put, now it's 3:30 in the afternoon. And I said, I have animals to feed. I said, I got things I got to take care of. I said, afternoons are horrible for me. She goes, let me look and see if I can change it. Or what's that? Guess what? Well, sir, I don't have any morning appointments for like 3 months after that. I said, ma'am, it's not your fault. She apologized. And I said, you do not owe me an apology. I said, it is not your fault. I understand. I said, I appreciate you calling me back. I said, believe me, it is what it is. I said, it's okay. I said, I just don't like it. Anyhow, guess when I'm going? November in the afternoon. Anyway, I feel better now.
Good.
I feel better
so
now.
Glad.
Now, on a more serious note, I had an email from somebody who's been with us a long time. Her husband passed away in April, just shortly before April 22nd. Their anniversary of 29 years, I think, was April 27th. And he went in the hospital one day and passed the next. I'm not exactly sure what was wrong, but the next day after that, she lost her little puppy dog, a little Maltese dog. So a couple of, just horrible events, Mm-hmm. And she said, now her grandson does come by every day and checks on her, which is great. And she just said, pray for me. She's really struggling. She's 78 years old. A lot of y'all out there can relate to that. And I told her, I said, from my standpoint, from Leanne's, obviously I can only imagine what it's like. Those of you out there who know what it's like and you believe in the power of prayer, pray for Donna. Pray for all those who've lost loved ones like that. And we're all going to experience it. It's going to happen to everybody. You go through your youth and your middle age and still have your parents, and then, things start happening. People pass, relatives, and we're going through some of that now, and they get sick. But I gave her 3 scriptures to look at, or in God's comfort, Psalms and Matthew, and I don't remember off the top of my head what they are. And I just told her, please read those, and know that everybody's praying for you, we love you. And you're going through a tough time right now, and we get it, we understand, and we're thinking about you. anybody that's gone through that. Like we've got more prayer requests today through the email, and I'm in the process of answering some of them. So.
And we also, I don't want to, wear anybody out with this, but I think everybody right now knows what's going on in Israel and with Iran, but we also need to pray for President Trump and our government and what his decision is as far as our involvement. These are tough times. They're tough times for everybody, so let's just keep the whole situation in our prayers.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. I'm going to go this far. If you saw what we recommended that you watch last time, Israel's going to survive this. They will not be wiped off the face of the earth like Iran leadership wants, because it is biblical that Jews are the chosen people of God. And Jesus is coming back. And there's all kinds of scripture throughout that piece that we gave you that talks about he's going to Jerusalem. He's going to bring them from everywhere, globally, bring them all back home as it is in the Bible. So, I remember as a kid, my fear was Russia. I don't know why, I don't know what was going on then, but I was always afraid that Russia was going to come do something that was just going to annihilate everybody. And my mom sat me down one day and she said, listen, that is not biblical. She said, you don't need to worry like this. And I thought, wow, I didn't realize, I didn't stop and think about that. But it's so reassuring to me when I read what we've been following in this Jack Hibbs piece that he gave. And it's just incredible the knowledge that man has and what he shared. And it's, a lot of people don't want the United States to get involved. I get that. But biblically, if you pay attention, Iran is not going to nuke Israel because they're too close in proximity, and they're right there by the sea, Israel is, and if they did, the dust particles and all of that stuff could flow over into Iran. So more than likely, they're the little Satan, we're the big Satan. If they were going to do anything, they would nuke the United States. So keep in mind that I know that Trump does not want a forever war, and that's not what this is about, but we may have to get involved to do, our part as far as blowing up this, what is it called? Uranium?
It's a cave.
We're in the mountainside.
In the mountainside, sure.
So anyway, if you didn't choose to watch that, that's just a brief, maybe reassurance, I hope, for you,
Yeah. I recommend going and watching it.
Yeah.
If you're just a layman like we are, and you're just watching the news does not give you the story from a biblical standpoint. You all know that. They don't get it. They do not understand. They don't get it.
No.
So watching the news can just scare the daylights out of you.
Well,
right?
and
so
I
if
think
you want
too,
a peace and a calm and an understanding.
Yes. This was prophesied in the Old Testament, and he quotes scripture and backs all that up, and now we're seeing the fulfillment of that. And he's saying, he's not trying to scare anybody, but even like we've said before, if you don't know where you stand with God, now better be the time you figure it out. And that is not a fear tactic. He believes, and so does some of the others that are close to him, that Jesus is coming back in our lifetime. And, it's really starting to look that way.
Well, if you look at it this way too, I know that, it could be 200 years from now. Could be. But if you follow the Bible and you follow, then you're thinking, the signs are there that it could be recent. And look at it, it's got to happen in somebody's lifetime.
Yeah.
There's going to be people on this earth when it happens, just like you and me sitting out on the front porch or wherever you're watching this from. It's going to happen. Now, you may not believe it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. You can believe it or not, but it's going to happen. And it's throughout the Bible, and the Old Testament confirms what the New Testament says, and vice versa. And there's
what that piece is that we gave you as far as Jack Hibbs. It's not just, he said, it's not so much a sermon as it is history. It's explaining how all of this has evolved, and it is very interesting. It is very interesting, and so I would really encourage you to go watch that. He's got a lot of good ones, but this one right here, I think I would think everybody wants to know.
Well, and you put that up on our last video, and you can do it again this time
true,
too.
I can do it.
So, but it just actually it's to better understand it, actually gives you a peace and a calm. Like it just
does
like,
me,
oh, I see
yes.
that. You're going, oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
You know, well, I got news for you. I don't care what news channel you watch, you're not getting the whole story.
Well,
you're
here's
not.
the other thing. I really never knew why they wanted to annihilate Israel and get rid of the Jews. I can tell you, and I learned this from him. I never really thought about this, but they don't want Israel to exist, because if Israel is gone, there's no Jerusalem. There's no place for Jesus to come back and to gather up the Jews, because they're gone. And that's not going to happen, folks, because God decided that the Jews are the chosen people.
Because he said, I'm returning to Jerusalem.
Yes.
Well, what's that mean? He's returning.
Yep.
Well, there's going to be something there to return to.
Exactly.
So that means that what all you hear in the news, oh, we're afraid Israel's going to be wiped out. No. God says you can look in the Bible, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Not going to happen.
And I believe that with all my heart.
Right.
Don't
right.
we?
But you hear on the news, you know, of course, they're all using scare tactics. They want you to watch their channel, and we do watch. We watch. We got to get we watch. Use discernment. You know.
He'll address that. It's very, very good. I'm amazed, honestly. But anyway, sorry, you were about ready to say.
No, but it is time. I mean, every day is time. You know, to get right. You know, we want everybody to be in heaven with us. We don't want you to have to be concerned with future events, and the only way to do that is to know where you're going. If everything ended today,
Yep.
you need the reassurance, and Jesus will take care of that. He loves you, and he wants you to be in heaven, and all you have to do is call out his name. Just ask him. Okay?
Yep.
All right.
Amen.
Amen. God bless you. We say these things because we love you.
We do.
We love you. Okay? Stay strong. Pray on. Until next time.
Bye, everybody. Love you, and we mean it.